So I'm here at the Bruce Museum with the curator of the most recent exhibit, Exotic Encounters, but it's about tourism. And so my question is, first of all, this nice fan right here was from you said a ship that only went for 5 years, but people in Greenwich must have went on it and made sure that they donated it.
Yes.
What?
In fact, this is a souvenir fan. It's got a map of the Caribbean picked out on the ivory of the fan.
Mm-hmm.
A souvenir fan. It was the very first cruise ship ever, launched by the Hamburg America line in 1901, when aground off of Jamaica in 1906. And this was something you took with you off the trip as a souvenir.
This is like a matchbook that you can't even get anymore these days.
It's a very high-end matchbook. That's just what it was.
All right. So now I have a question. There's a lot of really nice high-end things, but there's also the difference between what is art and what tourists are collecting.
Yes.
So I heart New York T-shirts.
Yes.
In several years. How would that fit in with this exhibit?
It could well. If you found them, if you think they're beautiful and interesting, which by the way they are rather interesting.
Because those are people are buying. When tourists come in, they're buying them.
Undoubtedly, this fan is a bit like the I Heart New York T-shirt of 1900. In some ways, it is like that. A little bit more exclusive, probably a little bit tougher to come by, but in the end, it is very similar. This show is. But it's not just about tourist objects, it's also about travel in general and how artists and travelers react to going to foreign places and the kind of things they bring back. And sometimes those are artistic impressions.
But that's what people are bringing back these days. I mean,
yes,
they're bringing...
That's right. Now, this is not just a show about tourist things. It's also a show about how artists, when they travel, represent the rest of the world. But, in fact, tourist objects are part of this show.
Right, and that's what brings us to, we've got an artist from Koskov that traveled, painted a picture, and now it's here.
That's right. He went to Italy. George Wharton Edwards went to Italy, painted Venice. It's quite a lovely painting, inspired by Monet's Impressionist art. And now it's on our wall. It was donated. He donated that painting, and a number of other paintings to the Bruce, and it's now on our walls. In fact, we've just recently reframed it.
So some people will come in and look through this and be like, well, look, there's a vase and there's some like Native American stuff. How does it all, interact?
Well, if you read our text panels,
yeah.
I'll explain exactly how each area in the world was looked at, visited, and collected as time passed. And by the way, we've got a wonderful set of postcards loaned to us by Leonard Lauder, and we've used them to enrich the show at the same time.
I mean, people, because people in this area love to travel, and they do bring things back.
Indeed. Well, that's much of how this collection was formed. The Bruce Museum was the local Greenwich people traveling and bringing back things and donating to the museum. Obviously, the Bruce is not going to accept nowadays an I Heart New York T-shirt. On the other hand, if someone does travel, even nowadays, to a foreign country and has a beautiful object to bring back, the Bruce, of course, would be delighted to take a look at it and perhaps have it in its collection.
Of course, I was just trying to relate it to like modern day speak. You know what I mean? Because it's like that's his thing.
Indeed. No, you're right. That's what this is.
Because back in the day, what year is this fan from?
It's got to be somewhere between 1900 and 1906 because the ship is only in existence for 5 years.
I mean, wow, right?
Yeah.
Wow. It doesn't matter if
but that means somebody in Greenwich probably was on one of those Caribbean tours.
Why wouldn't they be, right?
Of the first tour boat ever. This was the first one.
And these are all things that you found. You went down in the basement.
All this is from the basement of the Bruce Museum.
What else did you
find?
You were like, oh my goodness, look at this.
All kinds of things. All kinds of things. But I want people to come and see the show.
Yeah, but
discover what's here.
They're going to, but what's the next?
Vintage photographs, Chinese sculpture, African pipes.
I know that when you were down there, you got some ideas for the next show.
In fact, our next show is going to be, our next big show next winter is going to be the photography of Cindy Sherman. Do you know Cindy Sherman? Great contemporary artist, and we will do a big Cindy Sherman show, much of it from collections in Greenwich and the area.
He's not giving away anything about what else he's going to do next, right?
No.
Yeah. You do a lot of work in New York City.
I do. That's where I live.
The Natural History Museum?
Guggenheim.
Guggenheim, that's right.
I'm doing a show for Guggenheim.
All right, excellent.